In this video we're going to continue exploring gold from erosion, except this time I've got a fair bit of company. Say hello everyone.
Hi.
The last time I was here at the anniversary gold hole, I scraped off this area and got a reasonable amount of gold, and I dug down there and got hardly any gold. There was too much water to check the underside erosion here. So for testing this theory about where the gold is coming from, if we can find chunky gold underneath this shelf, coming from down the bottom, these heavy gravel layers, whether it's just coming out of the mix of this, clay bit here, or whether it's coming from what we think is stuff that the old timers have thrown up from down here, but they've missed a bit of gold and it's ended up there. It's then eroded and ended up back down here. So time to stop talking and get digging. Right guys, come on, it's time to get to work.
Come on, let's go to the bathtub.
I need some water first.
Yeah.
So you ready to take the buckets up and get some water?
Yep, going to the bathtub. No, we're going to take my truck to do it.
Sarah, you said if I let all the kids come, you would help.
I don't remember that.
I do.
It's alright, I'll help with the filming like I did last time.
No, you said you'd get me some water.
Yep, well the thing is, your 4 buckets are already full of water.
She wasn't supposed to know that.
It basically is, because it's water falling, so it's a waterfall. But anyway, focused on the water. Wait, why do we have to film this?
Well, this is what I'll be classifying into. But now, you got 2 buckets to get some water for me. Some more water.
Good on ya.
I think I've got to approach this a little differently. Like normally, you would go down through the loose stuff and sometimes you'd throw it away because there wouldn't be any gold in it because the gold would have sunk down. And sometimes you would bother processing it because there would be flood gold in it and be worth doing because it's easy. But this is a different situation. Gold's not here because it's been swept here. Gold's here, if there's gold here, there's gold here because it's been left here. And so none of this would have been submerged when the gold was deposited here. It just would have kind of settled. So that means it's not going to be stratified. The gold's going to be all through here. And also, if there's gold up here, it's probably going to have ended up down here on this flat shelf. Because here, the sandy layer has been quite deep, but up here it's not. Like, that's really quite hard. Like, there's a layer of rock there that you can see, but I reckon most of it would have just slid down onto the bank, because here's where it's all sandy. And like, gold's heavy and all. So if it's a heavy rain coming down on this, pitter patter, it wouldn't take a lot for a raindrop to hit and then knock something down. So I don't think we need to be too fussy about cleaning off the top. Like, maybe give it a bit of a scrape. And the other thing I don't think we need to be fussy about is scraping the bottom of this shelf, because the gold's not going to be stratified on the bottom. It's going to be mixed through it or even just sitting on top. And that's good, because the more I scrape into this, the more clay I'm getting, and then that makes the whole thing of processing it much more difficult, which turns this from an easy job into a hard job. So she's doing better this time, isn't she, kids?
Aww. Ow! Fail! That's a big fat egg. I'm going again.
Yeah, you better turn over.
Daddy! Do that! Your turn!
Now, Edward, do you want to see what's going on?
Yeah, you better turn Edward around so he can see it too.
Now, are there any rules?
Oh, yeah. You have to pass the test. You're not allowed to touch anything else no one else around you allowed to tap the wall.
Hey, that's not fair. Your balance is...
Now down. He's doing that one. And as you can see, there's that bit.
Alan, hop off it. Angus, hop off it. Dad's got to do it. Whoa, careful there, Angus. That's cheating. What? Let's see if he can do it.
Can't touch anything else.
Alan.
Again.
No, I gotta get some gold. If one of you kids can go up that one and down that one, I will keep doing it until I succeed at it. So I've been trying to encourage the kids to dig in useful spots. Hasn't gone so well. But they have made a bit of a mess over here.
We were trying to take this part all down.
Right, what was the plan, Arlen?
By destroying this.
Are you destroying that? Okay, yeah. Right. Fair enough.
And we're also thinking there might be gold around in there.
Well, since you've dug it, and since we did want to actually check a sample from the middle there, what I would like you to do is fill up a bucket, please.
Okay, yes, sir.
With this dirt.
Okay.
Okay? The stuff that you've dug. I've scraped this off, and I sort of poked around at this, but then decided not to do it. I think I did a good job on that the first time. I decided against climbing in there to get more out of the bottom. Two reasons. One is that if this cliff were to collapse in any way at all, it'd be so easy to get trapped between there and this shelf. It's very confined in there. And the second reason is because Sarah's watching. In the previous gold from erosion video, I talked about the possibility that the gold that was appearing there might be coming from that very top layer. You see all these heavy, chunky gravels up the top there. And the theory that I'm working on is that those top gravels have been thrown up there from way down the bottom as they've been dug up by the old timers through their shafts. Presumably they did a fairly good job of clearing that out of gold, but not an excellent job if we're finding bits from it. But if I was to dig that, it might take me a while to find any appreciable amounts. So the alternative I've just thought of is, what if I scrape this down and get that into a bucket? Because this material here would have come from there, and this would be a much well, this is like a semi-processed sample from there. So that's what I'm going to do now. Quickly grab some of that and take it home.
I'll laugh if this is your best yield of gold. Are you expecting to get much from this?
I have no idea. I really don't. But this is part of the experiment.
Cool.
Oh, that's getting heavy. That's great.
So, you're gonna pay me more so I can help you, or what? Actually, I'm gonna give you all my gold. What I got from the sample. Okay, that's a deal. What if you get nothing? Lego, if you want any.
Do you want some help?
No.
You sure you don't want any help?
Yes, I'm sure.
You're sure?
Yes.
Oh, well done. Okay, cool. See all this stuff here, all that up there. That's it, look at that. Oof. You're gonna fill that bucket up in no time. Loading the vehicles. It's the heavy mining equipment.
Who had fun today?
Me.
Who actually thinks it's fun coming with Mum and Dad prospecting?
Me.
What about just Dad?
No.
So I did film the processing of all those different buckets. Problem is, that was a month ago before I left for India, and now I'm having trouble finding all the individual bits of filming and assigning which one is to which. But I do remember the results. This area here, which the kids did from sort of this middle area, we did a bucket of that and we got nothing. Now from here where I scraped all this down, I got some tiny specks and not many of them. From over here where I scraped all this down, I got some tiny specks and not many of them. But from here, this spot here, have a look at what Angus got.
Can't get that up.
Okay, do you want some help?
Scream.
Here goes your dirt, or the first lot of it. Ah, it's overflowing. Oh, you got it wet.
Yeah, no. It's just wet.
Look at that, just sitting there. That's brilliant, Angus. You found that.
Oh.
Look at that.
It's huge.
Oh, look at it in the sunlight.
Oh, it's a shimmer. Where's the gold? That's a picker. All the gold's around there.
There's one.
There's
another.
I found.
Yeah, don't touch
There's another
I
over
found
there. Not.
9.
There's a lot of fine gold in that sand as
Yeah.
well.
Oh wow! Do you reckon you got more than what Dad got?
I don't know.
Has Dad done his yet?
No.
Isn't that awesome? Look at it all. Look at all the specks. But look at the picker. How awesome are you?
Because
Was it
all the time we go there, I'm going to go right to there and start going.
Of our family, Angus is the most competitive. He's pretty full on. So he was incredibly excited that he'd found more gold than me. Now I've still got a few places to check at that spot before I'm going to give you guys a summary of what I think is going on there. So stay tuned for that video, and if you enjoyed this, yeah, please like and more importantly share so that some other folks can get to see. And if you've got any comments on things I might have missed or things I could do better, I'm not sure whether you guys want to see me having fun with the family or just want me to focus on the gold. So let us know, and I'll catch you in the next video.